the studio.
All right, thank you very much, Shivani, and to Mr. Kombata. We're just showing this in our ticker as well. So metals have been falling in a big way. In fact, the multi-commodity exchange gold and silver is seeing its biggest single-day fall in 6 years. Gold ETFs have crashed up to 16%. So the precious metal gold has now gone down to 9,000 rupees for 10 grams, and silver has fallen down to 17,000 rupees per kilogram. Why is that, Professor? Is this just correction, or is it?
One, it is a correction, and two, I think the commodities people are sort of now factoring in the this is a post-Trump tantrum era now.
Okay.
The Trump tantrums are over, and therefore there will be a greater stability, greater certainty, going forward, whether it's in exchange rates or in the world trade and thing.
So falling commodities is also good in the sense that the people are predicting, stability and less volatility, more stability when it comes to.
Gold and silver rise when there is abundant uncertainty in the global market, and and this is seen as the safe hedge.
Yeah.
Now that's changing.
Okay.
And that's changing, I think, because the Venezuelan situation is coming. All right.
Yeah.
And the Greenland thing is now sort of
subsided
gone off the burner. So therefore, and there is a correction. 17% increase in January on gold prices has been enormous. So there is no harm there. Yeah.
So Nirmala, the point being that for a country like India, this is good news, because obviously the question also rises, where is this money then going? Is it going to come back to emerging markets? Is it going to go back to the developed markets? Will it go from commodities back to equity? Where will it go, some of this money, if people are taking profits out, as Mr. Rajiv Kumar was saying?
I think there are two things here. I think the correction was long overdue. If you look at it, it was actually quite high. So money, will it go back? I think lots of profit booking has happened, which means that I don't think it will go anywhere. It may go into consumption also for a little while. I think that's a big thing, because you've seen the large profits that silver and gold have generated. Plus, I think there is also some kind of conversation that's been happening on hopefully reduction in your import duty on gold, though I don't see that happening, but maybe all of that is.
No, but where I was getting at was, do you see some of that money go back into the equities? I mean, the returns on the Sensex in the last year have been in single digits, I believe. Or maybe even in negative territory, if you ask. We'll also go across to Mr. Arvind Srivatsan on that. But just a quick word on.
No, I think you will see value slowly coming back in. I mean, budget day today, it's also been what the global cues have been, which is what we were discussing. The global cues haven't been very, very favorable. Yeah. And I think over the next month or so, you will see a little more stability, money slowly moving back.
Mr. Srivatsan, why are these commodity prices falling, particularly gold and silver? Profit booking, correction, and two, more importantly, what does it mean for an emerging market like India, as we see pictures of the Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, arriving in Parliament? Yes, Mr. Srivatsan.
Yeah, so I think it's a bit of everything that you mentioned. Clearly, profit booking has been happening over a week or so. People are taking money off the table, and I guess some portion of that can come to the market. Again, it depends on what we hear today. Certainly, I think it'll be nice if this gets back into the domestic economy. So I think correction was overdue, and it was overheated. So I think it's fair that we are where we are. So it was always expected.
Well, what about on there have been net outflows of both FDI and FII in the last few months. What needs to be done to correct that, or do you reckon that's just simply because of this AI boom that's being talked about in the US, and a lot of money has been going after AI. Now things are stable. You see some of that money coming back into emerging markets like India?
Yeah, so I think FPIs, they really don't have a law. I mean, they have a short-term sentiment. So if you really see 25, they took money out of India, invested in Taiwan and Korea and South Korea, and they got double-digit returns. So I think that was the sentiment. I think what's required to really get portfolio investors and even FDI back into India, I think the ease of doing business. If you really ask me, we've dropped the tax rates. We've created a faceless administration system. We'll hopefully see reforms on customs. I think ease of doing business, if you can acknowledge and really work on it, reduce the multiple interfaces, compliances, and if you can have some committee that really accelerates ease of doing business, I think it will certainly help get patient capital. If you just to also go back a little, the government actually amended the insurance laws to permit 100%
Yeah,
FDI
FDI.
insurance.
Yeah,
Under
correct.
a unified license, you could do general and life. But the fact is, despite this, capital is yet to get into India. So I guess one is the rupee factor, but I think more is they would like to wait and see, and hear from the budget and pause and see how the geopolitics reset. But I think that's where we are, if you really ask me.
Professor Rajiv Kumar, I mean, we've been talking about ease of doing business certainly in the last 10 years since Prime Minister Modi came to power. If after 10 years, Mr. Srivatsan saying that's an issue that needs to be addressed, then what is the
That's the issue which needs to be addressed.
Okay.
And if we want to give an answer to why private investors are shying away still, it is this, which is that on the ground there are lots and lots of pricking points, there are lots of sort of stumbling blocks, etc. for this.
like what? I mean, labor codes have now been
labor codes have been
simplified,
but not notified, so we don't
Okay.
know what's going to happen.
They've been
Okay.
The
notified
GST
to be operational.
No, notified, but the rules have
They're not
been,
in operation yet,
not
okay.
operational. I give you one
GST
example.
has been rationalized.
No, GST has not been rationalized. In fact, for a large number of commodities, the GST on intermediates is higher than the GST on the final products. As a result of which, GST credit is collected, and the refund is done only once in three months.
Okay.
And therefore, there is a cash flow block. Now, the GST on capital goods, on capital machinery, is now not going to be credited, but they are saying that you add it to your cost and depreciate
But the whole point of this reform, this indirect tax reform, was to reduce compliance. One of the aims was also
just this figure, the GST rose by 6% in January.
Yeah.
It shows that the tax buoyancy is less than 1, because the GDP is rising by more than 6%, and that's
Okay.
not a favorable thing to happen. So GST rationalization, GST simplification is really required, and then the whole refund mechanism that is there. So that's one part of it. The second part of it is, the sort of work being done by the agencies, the so-called agencies, and there is almost free for all for them at the ground level, and there is no rule, there is no curbing anything of this kind, and therefore there is really uncertainty about what a person can expect, when they do A, B, or C, and that's this budget, if it can clarify that if you are going to do this, this is what you will achieve, and nothing else. So the arbitrariness has to be reduced.
Can that? I mean, the compliance costs, whether it is GST, further rationalization of the process, not so much the rates, but the process. Can that be addressed? I mean, the GST is out of the ambit of the budget, but when someone like Mr. Srivatsan says address ease of doing business, why has that still not been addressed?
It's been addressed, and the Jan Vishwas Bill 2.0 has come in, but it has yet to be passed. There are a couple of things here. There's the compliance burden, which has to be reduced further. There's the deregulation aspect, and there's the decriminalization aspect. And in this budget, we can look forward to the customs being made more rational, streamlined, the inverted duty structure being, addressed. Similarly, in the GST and the Direct Tax Acts, if we can see reduction in the compliance burden and a mandate for the national single window system for all ministries and all states, I think that could address a number of things.
Let's